Hello everyone, and welcome back to TechBlock. Today we're taking a look at the Elgato Stream Deck, my first ever Elgato product that I've owned, and it's pretty cool. I picked it up during Amazon Prime Day for a lovely deal, so I've been using it for just over a month now. But I would like to mention that I'm not a streamer, I don't stream on Twitch or on YouTube, and the main reason why I actually picked up a Stream Deck in the first place, even though it's called a Stream Deck and it's kind of made for streamers, is because I wanted macro keys for my PC. Now, I recently upgraded to the Razer Huntsman Elite keyboard that unfortunately has no dedicated macro keys on the keyboard at all. So I missed my macro keys as I upgraded to that one from a Black Widow Chroma V2 keyboard that happens to have 5 macro keys on the left hand side. So I missed them. I wanted macro keys back as I use them all the time when editing videos in Premiere, for example. So I picked up a Stream Deck and I'm very happy that I did, as you can program every single button on this macro pad to do anything you want. And what's awesome is that you can have an infinite amount of macro keys, as you can program a button to have a folder, and in that folder there's more macro keys, and you can have another folder in that folder with more macro keys. You can basically just have an infinite amount of macro keys at your disposal. And you can even link programs to the macro pad, so when you switch over to, let's say, Photoshop, it switches to a Photoshop profile, or when you switch over to Spotify, it has a Spotify profile. And you can even program it in games as well, like City Skylines or CSGO. I made custom profiles, I made a bunch of custom icons and stuff for both of those games, and I think it adds a lot of like cool functionality to games in general. Like the icons that you'd see like on your user interface, you can add them like to the macro pad, so you can customize each individual key to have its own image. It supports GIFs as well. You can make the entire Stream Deck RGB, which is pretty cool, especially if you like an RGB themed setup. You can customize the buttons to do anything you want and look any way you want as well. It's awesome. Right, so the Elgato Stream Deck has a total of 15 keys, basically 3 rows of 5, but there's also a smaller version available called the Elgato Stream Deck Mini, which has a total of 6 keys instead of 15. The Stream Deck Mini retails for around $100 US, whereas the full-size 15-key Elgato Stream Deck retails for around $150. The prices are also pretty similar in other countries as well. I'll leave Amazon links to both the Elgato Stream Deck, the Mini, as well as everything else in my setup in the description down below for you. So if you see anything that you like my keyboard for example, you can pick it up. Everything in my setup is in the description down below. Getting back to the Elgato Stream Deck, it does come with an optional stand right here that you can see is all plastic and stuff. I mean, it's a pretty decent stand, allowing you to really change the way the Elgato Stream Deck is actually positioned on your desk. So you could have it looking like that, whereas you could also adjust the stands and stuff and make it kind of more flat, or you could just get rid of the stand in general and have the Stream Deck lying on your table just flat like that without any problem. Taking a look at the Stream Deck software, we have a bunch of profiles that you can make. I've currently got quite a few that I've set up. I've got one for Spotify, so you can see here I've got play, pause, previous track, next track, mute, you know, all your good things. I've got one just called Blue. This is just kind of like a test folder. I've got a custom one that I've made for City Skylines. I made all of these things in Photoshop. I basically just took like a screenshot of the user interface in-game and manually kind of cut out all the little icons and popped them onto the Stream Deck there for my games. And I have 2 folders here. One for the zones, as there are multiple zones in game. So I've got, you know, all the residential zones, all the commercial zones, all that good stuff. And then I've even got another one for roads here. And if any of you also play City Skylines, let me know in the comment section down below. But I also have one for CSGO. Here I have like some armor. This is just basically like a bunch of macro keys, and these are pretty simple. Like you press B for the buy menu, you press 6, I guess accessories, you know, all the nades and stuff. And it just does the number combination that you'd use on CSGO to actually buy something, but it does that as a macro for you. There is one problem with that though, is that there's a bit of a delay and it takes a while for it to actually like buy everything. But I'll see if I can work around that in the future. Maybe I'll make like an updated Stream Deck video, specifically mainly for like games and stuff and software. And then I've also got quite a few profiles set up for various Adobe software. So I've got one for Adobe Premiere. This one has like copy, paste, just a bunch of macro keys that I've made for Adobe Premiere. Very, very useful, makes editing videos a lot quicker for me. I've got one for Photoshop. I basically just added like a bunch of icons in Photoshop and found, ooh, that one's not assigned. This is the eraser tool. That should be E. This is like an export button here. I've got one for Adobe Premiere, I already showed you that. One for Audacity, when I'm editing the audio that I record on this microphone here that is clipped onto my shirt. I put the audio into Audacity and then I can quickly add a noise reduction effect to get rid of any background noise in the audio, simply by pressing a single button on the Elgato Stream Deck, saving me quite a bit of time there. And then of course there's also the RGB mode It looks pretty cool in my opinion, especially if you have like an RGB themed setup. And then whenever I'm recording something on OBS, I've also got like an OBS profile. So this one here is a little bit broken though. For some reason it doesn't really work that well. I think I need to either reinstall the Elgato software or OBS in order for it to kind of work properly, as there are actual animations when you press on the record button, the button will turn red, showing you that, you know, you're recording now. And I think there's also a bunch of like in-depth integrations with like stream alerts and stuff and Twitch alerts, but I don't really know much about streaming as I'm not a streamer, so I don't know much about the whole streaming side of the Stream Deck and all the things it can do while you stream, but I'm sure it's awesome and there are probably tons of reviews out there for all the streamers that want to have a Stream Deck as well. And then finally I've got one called Google Chrome as well. This is basically like the default profile that I have on 24/7. So I've got a few programs here that I can launch by the click of a button. I've got Audacity here, a few Adobe programs, I've got OBS, a Spotify, and then I've even got a dedicated folder for Amazon stores. So if I double click on this, you can see I've got various different Amazon stores that I can access via the click of a button. I've got a dedicated folder for Genius links as well, as I build every single link in the description of my videos via Genius links. So if you press on any of the links in the description down below, it should take you to the correct Amazon store, depending of course on where you actually are in the world. So if you're in Spain and you press on one of my links, it should take you to the Amazon Spain store. So apart from that, you know, that's pretty much it. I've got one for Google Calendar, one for Facebook, Twitter. This is a new tab button. I've got a dedicated YouTube folder as well. So I've got my subscriptions feed, I've got my TechBlock channel, video manager, community, comments, so I can easily reply to all of your comments. I've got some YouTube analytics here as well, one for 30 days, one for real time. Got upload defaults, and then finally upload. I'll be using that button when I'm uploading a video tonight. Also, if you press on the little cog right here, this will open up the preferences thingy. And then if you go into the profiles tab, you can assign a profile to switch depending on which program you're on. So by default, it'll always be the Google Chrome one. But if I switch over to, let's say, OBS, I've linked the OBS profile to the actual OBS software right here. So when I switch over to the OBS program, it immediately knows that I'm currently viewing the OBS program as like my primary window in Windows, and it will switch over to that profile. And it will do the same for every other program as well. If I open up Adobe Premiere, you can see it's currently just switched over to the Adobe Premiere profile. Pretty cool, right? When it comes to actually making a custom icon for your Elgato Stream Deck, it's super simple. All you have to do is you have to right click on your icon here, right click, and you can press on create new icon. This will take you to the Elgato Key Creator here. You can think of it like a Photoshop for your Elgato Stream Deck. It's pretty cool, dude. So you can go on here and you can basically just customize loads of things. So let's get a background. Let's have a smiley face here. There we go, that looks good. We can add like a star on top of it. You know, there's layers and stuff you can mess around with. And then you can even add your own custom images from your PC, for example. So you can just add like a background. And what you can do as well is go into this wallpaper mode and you can add this entire image throughout your entire Elgato Stream Deck. It's pretty cool. So I've currently just got like a razor wallpaper there. And there you go, you even have like a little preview of how it's actually going to look like on your Stream Deck. You can press save keys and this will export, and then all you have to do is just add the icons for each individual key on your Stream Deck. It's that simple. You can even do some cool things like add a timer. So if you press on the actual timer, as you can see on the Stream Deck now, I've pressed on the timer, it's now ticking down, and when that timer goes off, it's going to let you know by going like beep 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 beep, and you know that the timer's going off and stuff. It's pretty cool. There's even like Twitter integration with the Stream Deck, allowing you to tweet by the press of a button. In my opinion, I think the Elgato Stream Deck has a place in pretty much everyone's setup really. That is, if you can justify the pretty expensive price tag of $150 for the full size one or $100 for the Stream Deck Mini. But it's still a pretty cool piece of kit. It has freaking screens for buttons, allowing you to make it do whatever you want and look however you want as well. It's awesome, and I'm very glad I actually picked one up for myself. It's probably one of my favorite pieces of tech in my setup. But apart from that, links to everything is in the description down below as always. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, turn on notifications if you're new to the channel and you want to get notified whenever I upload a video. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And apart from that, thanks for watching and I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye.